Peace and blessings, y'all. It's your boy Gerald, and it is the 30th of December, 2015. How is each and every one of you? I know some of you may be on your break. Some of you may have taken leave or vacation time from your occupation. I hope it serves you well. But I don't know if you guys have realized that in a matter of 48 hours, a new chapter is about to begin. Some of you may have felt this for quite some time, and spiritually, your body is catching up to the momentum. For some, you're taking it day by day, moment by moment, minute by minute, and you're allowing your life to go through the flow, and you're allowing things to be brought in front of you. I'm putting this video out this morning. It is approximately 6:39 Eastern Standard Time. And I'm gonna tell you what, y'all, about a little over 3 hours ago, I was awakened out of my sleep. Something had touched my spirit that it brought me out of my slumber for it to be acknowledged. No, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is not what I would call a spiritual attack. I think it was far from it. I think what was going on, that there was someone's energy being brought up, and may have been a sign of distress. What were you doing in the wee hours? Because I got a feeling that there was somebody. Maybe you hadn't gone to sleep, or you couldn't go to sleep because your heart is heavy. It was all good yesterday, but the reality is you are out of sync. And all you want to do is be at peace. If I'm talking to you, let me let you know something. With all sincerity, how much pain you got to go through? What audience are you trying to seek validation for? What are you trying to prove? And at what expense? You see, y'all, in 48 hours, worldwide, this will be a new year. Some of you, not to make light, have already said, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure that the things that I had not done are going to be priority number one. But in those affirmations, even though a lot of people know them as resolutions, a lot of times they fall to the wayside, and guess what? They never are resolved. So that resolution is just nothing but wordplay. But I got a feeling, y'all, some of you, you're going deeper. Some of you are going to do something that you've never done before in your life. And that is to fight for you. That is to put the work in and declare that you deserve something better. Some of you are going to not only reflect on where you've been, but you're going to ground your feet this time, and you're going to assess all your failures. You're going to put ownership where it needs to be, because we already know that playing the victim will get you a one-string violin that will always be out of tune. I think some of you know that because that's what's been playing in your heart. You're actually scratching your head to a point that you're actually thinking that you are going crazy. No, you're not. What's going on is, see, that little boy and that little girl inside you is getting tired. So what is going on is those things that you may have chosen to bury inside yourself, there's no more room. You can't stuff it away because we're talking about you. Yes, that beautiful king or queen that deserves to have the life as we know as our dreams. See, nobody is going to do your work, but guess what? There are plenty of people that will distract you from it. So now, some people may be embracing disappointment. Now you're at a point where you can't turn a blind eye because the truth is in front of you. Well, the truth has always been there, but for some reason, you allowed somebody or something to sway your path, and that you thought that was false comfort was nothing more than a delay. I think now's the time that you actually will be courageous and have that conversation with him. Look at what's been going on these last couple of weeks, y'all. Look at just from our continent, North America. Look at the weather. We've got so many illustrations of change. It's obvious. Devastation, borderline anarchy, and destruction. It's not a good mix, y'all, but that's the reality. And I've said it before and I'll keep saying it again. Eventually, God gets tired. So I'm putting this video out. There's a validation and a reminder to somebody that you can have your dreams, but you're going to have to invest in them. No, they're not going to cost you your tears. And I think that's what a lot of you have been doing, silently paying for your life in tears, in embarrassment, in shortcomings, all for what? A temporary titillation, masked in confusion. But the price has always been your self-worth. Haven't you noticed when you have things, everybody's around you, but when you're not, they don't know you? There's a reason behind that. What you may not realize is at one time, the roles were reversed. Come on, be honest with yourself. You've done it. Put yourself in places you shouldn't have never been, but little did you know the moment that you walked through the proverbial door, the price was going to be paid. You might not didn't pay it then, but you were going to pay it sooner or later. Why you think that connection was there? Why you think that person came back? Why do you think that you saw what you saw? There's a divine reason for it all. But I don't want for that somebody. Because see, right now, I know this is compounding the issue. Right now, you feeling like you are a person on your own island and no one gets you. It seems like you're talking in a foreign tongue and they look you in the face like, what? Let me tell you what's going on. See, that devil thinks that you're never going to invest in yourself. So guess what? Because you are weakened, you see more of the same. Maybe this is the time that you're going to actually use that voice of yours and speak your truth. But before you can take a position to speak your truth, you got to be able to speak it to yourself. So, are you going to finally admit to yourself that you do love yourself? Or are you going to continue to tighten those boots up and walk into your destruction? Because there's plenty of that waiting for you. I ain't got to tell you that. Just look yourself in the mirror. I know I'm talking to someone. You're concerned about your health now, aren't you? Those bruises wasn't there yesterday, but they're there now. hmm The reason why you're seeing that because there is something toxic inside you. Something is trying to capture your spirit. It's trying to kill it because they know that if they can get that spirit, they can get you. And you will be one of the many in the legions that are lost. That's why some of you are dealing in silence with your depression. Oh, yeah, I know I'm talking to you. I know I am. Why do you think you drink so much? Because you're trying to drink away the pain? Even so brazen and bold that you know how to mask it to go to work. How dangerous is that? How selfish is that? You don't care about your life, but yet you put yourself amongst the masses. One false move and there is totality, lives forever changed. That's not supposed to be your life, y'all. That's not your life. So it just so happened, I happened to be home. I had obligations I had to take care of, and I was unfortunate. I didn't work yesterday, and I really think this was divine placement because when I was home, I was able to catch up with. I watched the episode of Dr. Phil where he had three sisters on there, um, and each one of them were broken. Each one of them had different personalities that were from the mother, but the mother had the victim persona. And her position was, in short, I worked. I made a way when there was no way to provide for my girls. But from the oldest to the youngest, They were all broken. They've all gone through things. They've all seen their fair share of pain. But it was the young one that did not see her worth. Oh, you've seen it before. The type that get online and romanticize in their own head and put themselves in harm's way to meet a stranger, only to end up found not where they should have been. Now, luckily, the younger one, which was she was in her uh, mid 20s, that wasn't the case. But she had admitted that she had been sexually assaulted twice. So you might as well say that in a softer tone, she had been raped. And because of that trauma, it planted a seed of rebellion because she chose not to empower herself and go seek therapy so that the healing could begin. But only thing changed was the mentality was, if you can do that to me and it didn't kill me, then I will gladly take more of the same. There was no ownership in her life. So therefore there was no direction. It was to the point that our older sisters were calling her out of her name. Now, mind you, this is blood. You're connected by blood and bone, solidified by spirit. You are family. I ain't got to tell you this. We all have periods in our development when we don't see eye to eye, but what we will share in commonality is we all have the same parents. We all have the same mother or the same father if it's a blended family. But what I didn't see in that, there was no ownership there. There was a lot of deflecting. And you know what was not there the most? There was no love. There was none. There was a whole lot of manipulation. There was a whole lot of deception. But I'm a firm believer of this. The apple don't fall far from the tree. And a lot of times people don't want to own this, but our initial perceptions are based off of what we're exposed to. So a lot of your psyche, the way you think, is made up by your first foundations of your development. So it may be from your parents, it may be from your siblings. You had to have someone to illustrate before you can embrace it. You didn't just wake up and say, well, you know what? This is an option I'm going to go to. But a lot of times we embrace and hold on to the things that we shouldn't. I ain't got to tell you that, Kings. Why you think so many of us are running around sticking anything with a heartbeat, and you're wondering why you're not getting anywhere in your life? Or for you, my queens, because a man or what the image of a man acknowledges you, you give him carte blanche. That's why 9 times out of 10, most women will not be honest about their partners. They get offended if you ask them, when in actuality, it should be celebrated that that person cares enough for their health. So what do? You lowball the number. You downplay the activity only to manipulate the situation. But what happens? All that does is open up a door for disappointment. Because if you had spoke your truth from the get-go, guess what? You would have had to make a choice. That's what free will is about. You can't be in two places at one time. You must choose a path to go in. But I've said this before, time and time again. Because you see a doorway open doesn't mean that's the path you're supposed to be in. That may just very well be your delay. So we are literally a stone's throw from the new year. And I really hope that you've allowed yourself permission to reflect. Look at where you are now compared to where you were the beginning of the year. Do you realize how many interactions you've had directly or indirectly? That's a whole lot of spirit, y'all. Do you realize how many decisions you've had to make to navigate through this year? You can't even count them. And do you realize how many things that were synchronistic that were made revealed to you? For some, that may have been what was hidden was made revealed. You know why that occurred? It wasn't to punish you. It was to protect you, even from yourself. So, I don't have to tell you that. Look at your circle. Has your circle progressed? Or are you all on the same level? So you got to make a decision. What is best for you? Maybe this is the moment that you decide to look at that one challenge and make a decision that you are going to conquer it. I'm over here drinking my morning coffee. You know I am. You know I am. We all got fears. We all got challenges. But that's what is required to have your life. Some of y'all may be making the decision that you said, well, you know what? I'm tired of struggling with my finances. I'm tired of robbing Peter to pay Paul. I need to come up with a financial plan so that my money serves me better. Some of you may be scratching your head and smiling because you say, well, you know what, Gerald? I do have 50,000 credit cards in my wallet, in my purse. All I really needed was two. And you're making a conscious decision to liquidate those debts. Or it could be something very simple, such as making a conscious decision to unconditionally love yourself, to make a conscious decision to fall back in love with that little boy or that little girl. That is going to be the greatest test ever. To put yourself first, to understand what your grace is, what your worth is, what your value is. Because when you do that, guess what happens? You grow. And when you grow, guess what else happens? Your purpose is starting to be revealed to you. You just know. And you got to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that at all because it will be a living constant. Like, there it is again. There again. That's what I mean by synchronicity. These are spiritual signs. Because you got to understand something, y'all. God did not make a mistake when he created man. I know you got 50,000 people out here going to say otherwise, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I'm going to tell you what we can all agree upon is he is the great I am. And even when you did not deserve love, protection, mercy, it was given. It was given with a catch. You know what that catch was? Fulfilling your promise. See, you may not realize this right now, but you're going to inspire the unborn. You're going to inspire those that will have to come behind you. But you can't do that until you know you. You know, I used to make light and I would say, well, you got people out here that got PhDs in their sexuality, but they are flunking when it comes to their spirituality. And some people kind of got pissed off, but it's the truth. It was the truth because I said it because you deserve better. But I can't make you do anything. If you choose to lay with that demon, yeah, I said it, because he's not a man. He's a man with a phallus. Or you choose to live with that woman that does not respect you because she doesn't respect herself. Do you actually think God is going to give you a blessing? Huh? No, he's not. You know why he's not going to do that? Because he doesn't want you to squander the rest of your life. That's why I always echo. See, the person that you're destined to be is blessed, is wise. They have a testimony. They walk in inner peace and compassion. But you got to get there. You got to get there. So guess what? You're going to do a lot of soul searching. You're going to be doing a lot of inner healing. And with that, in divine time and moment, you're going to do a lot of crying too. Because your tears washes away your soul. It washes the negative energy connected to you. See, Hollywood likes to romanticize about about our spirits. They do. They even are so bold and brazen that they even are now starting to romanticize the Antichrist. We've got shows getting ready to come out that is pretty much going to glorify the devil's presence. But the devil's a liar. Always have, always will be, and has no problem destroying your life. I ain't got to tell you that. Why you think STDs exist? Hmm? Why you think they exist? Because that is nothing but another word for afflictions. That's why you don't hear about leprosy in the United States. You don't. Mm-mm. But you hear about HIV, you hear about hepatitis C, you hear about mental illness, and you hear about the big one, depression. And see, you have a lot of functional people out here that have addictions that try to mask them as if they're that's actually their strengths, and they're just lying to themselves. Queen, well, you know I love you, but why you think your sex drive is through the roof? Hmm? Why you think you spend more time doing rebound relationships than you have a relationship with yourself? Why? Because you've been running from you and you're getting tired. You know why you're getting tired or how? Because you see it in your body. You see it, you wear it in your eyes. That's why they say the eyes are a window to the soul. That's right, King. Why you think you're getting high now? Because that alcohol don't do the trick no more. Hmm? So now you're resorting to acting out. You're saying to yourself, nobody gets me. No one understands my pain. Sure we do. But the kicker is, why won't you do something about it? Huh? Why won't you do something about it? Oh, I know why. Because then that means you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable, and you have to admit to yourself for once that you were wrong. You made bad choices. You allowed people that should have never heard you breathe access to the most sacred place inside you. And you could take that from a sexual or a spiritual point of view. I keep trying to tell you, your circle is not your circle. Your circle is your delay. Are they growing? No. But they gladly waste your time because misery loves company, and you don't deserve that. So I woke up this morning about 3:30, quarter to 4, out of my sleep. Bam, I'm up, alert. And I knew that somebody was going through something. Something was happening, and perhaps I may have crossed their mind, or something I said resonated. And inside them, they're starting to be awakened. If this is you, glory be to God. Because what you don't realize is your life is about to drastically change. You are at a crossroads now. You have to, you know how they say, correction, what God asks, who do you serve? You're going to have to make a decision. Do you want to walk in the path that you already know that ain't going to get you nowhere but a coffin? Or are you going to claim your life once again? Because I'm going to tell you what, y'all, there are millions and millions of lost souls around us every day. Some still in physical form, some that are spiritual, that are spirit based. I ain't got to tell you. Why you think you feel the back of your hair lift up or you get those goosebumps? Because you're in the midst of spirit. Also, that could be you connecting to your discernment too. Why you think you're having the dreams you're having right now? Now's the time that you go within, y'all. Stop playing. I put the title on here for a reason. If you guys have never seen the movie Mahogney, I highly recommend that. I'm pretty sure if you go in the search engine, you should be able to pull it up here. But for those who have Netflix or Hulu or whatever, um, check out the movie because the movie has a message in it. All you got to do is watch and see you receive it. Because everything that you're seeing, everything that you're witnessing is to set you up for who you're going to become. That's why I keep trying to convey this, guys. See, the person who you were yesterday is not the person who you are now. But the person that you're going to become is depending that you make the conscious decisions needed for that person to be made a reality. So if you're tired of crying, do something about it. If you're tired of feeling alone, take ownership. If you're tired of feeling afraid, question why. Because you're worth it. Can't you see that? Because I'm going to tell you what, your peers, this is what you're going to see. Kings, your stick man, your boy is not going to become his own. He ain't. He's going to gravitate to those that will allow him time. Queens, your girlfriend, the only thing that you're going to see change is a whole lot of men. And here's the funny thing, and I say this figuratively. You know why she's doing that? She's doing that for two reasons. Because all you're witnessing is rebellion. We rebel because we don't want to acknowledge the truth, but the truth is the truth. That's why the truth will set you free, and that's why no matter how hard you try to deflect or run, eventually you're going to come back. You got to come back to yourself. The lucky ones, that is. Unfortunately, there are those who don't. And unfortunately, there are plenty of cemeteries out there with people in them that will not see tomorrow, that should not have been there. Another dream extinguished. Why? Because they made a choice. They didn't see their worth. They didn't ground their feet. And they allowed themselves to be influenced. I ain't got to tell you that, queens, kings. Listen to your music now. Is there any love in that? No. Society, I told y'all that almost a year ago. Society, queens, wants you to exploit yourself. Society wants you to play the position of the prostitute. Why you think they keep saying, just get it in, bust it open? Excuse me to those that are young, but it's the truth. Because see, guess what? The devil's sitting in the corner saying, that's right. I want to rob you of your essence. So why you think that man's in your life slapping you around? See, the flavor of the day nowadays is, I don't want love. I want a sodomite. Don't you realize that? All this focus now is about anal love. But guess what? Ain't no love in anal love. That's a form of control. We all know where that came from, right? It's been around forever. Everybody knows. You want to break a person's spirit? Knock on the back door. But because they've allowed you to be brainwashed through their control, which is better known as Stockholm Syndrome, because you know better, you wasn't raised that way. Instead of having the courage to walk away from the things that don't serve you, you empower it. And you get mad because you get more of the same. This person does not deserve to hear you breathe. Not at this moment. Why you think they're going upside your head? Why do you think they willfully assault you, both verbally and sexually? Because you turn a blind eye to it. And before you can turn around and say, well, if God was here, none of that would have went down. Pump your brakes. I know I'm talking to somebody, because guess what? What I told you. The two greatest gifts God ever gave you was, number one, to unconditionally love yourself. So if your body is a temple, isn't it your responsibility to fortify it? And the second is free will. So you've got choice. So if you want to live your life as 50 Shades of Gray, you can't get mad when they promote it. Come on now. We're living in a generation now that the word intimacy is a mockery. But yet they use your intimacy as a form of ransom. Why? Because you're letting them record you. Now, you can do whatever you choose to do, but you definitely can't have it both ways. And unfortunately, our babies, our sons and daughters, are going down a path of destruction because they don't realize that sooner or later, somebody that they know is going to see it. It could be your loved one. It could be your employer. Why you think you ain't got that job? You're looking at your resume and you're saying, that is me, Gerald. That's the job that I should have, but you don't get no callbacks. Don't you realize we live in a technological world that they have people that their sole job is to search for your misdeeds? So they can't afford to place somebody in their ranks that may compromise it. I know I'm talking to somebody. But I know this. 2016 is going to be an amazing year for some. This is going to be the year that those burdens, those shackles are going to fall from you. They're going to fall because that's going to be the day that you decide to love you. That's the day that your smile will genuinely come. Some of you got to convince yourself what your smile looks like when you, because you don't recognize it no more, because there's a whole lot of pain behind it. See, when you're in peace, when you've tapped into your inner peace, it resonates from your heart. And all the world will see it. Now, I'm not going to steal my thunder from my 2016 because I got stuff to say. But I will say this. I commend you to making it this far. You wasn't promised to wake up this morning, but you did. And some of you haven't gone to sleep yet because your slumber doesn't come easy. You're saying, Gerald, that's me because all I hear is the voices in my head of conversations and memories past. And I wish I could go back down memory lane, but I'm so embarrassed for the things I've done. I can't look them in the face because when I see them, I see genuine care, but I don't care about myself. So I stay away. Let me tell you something. You keep thinking that way and you keep letting the devil run your life. And guess what? You're going to get more of the same. I don't wish bad on anyone, but I got a feeling that someone's waking up and you're going to make the conscious decision to undo everything that you've done. Yes, because you'll come to realize that what swayed you was your materialistic viewpoint. And you thought that if I put a false status around me, oh, I know I'm talking to someone, that it will make up for the things I lack. Why do you think, Queen, that you see so many of your counterparts doing the same thing? Why? Because she's broken. But just believe this, eventually she's going to fly. God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. It's time, y'all. Prepare for your breakthrough. Be blessed.